Hollywood's golden age was full of incredible talent, and many of the iconic stars who made history were Jewish. From witty comedians to powerful performers, their heritage played a significant role in shaping their lives and careers. Let's explore the stories of these remarkable individuals and how their Jewish roots influenced their paths. 1. Martin Landau. Born to Austrian and Polish Jewish immigrants, Martin Landau became an Oscar-winning actor, known for Ed Wood and Mission Impossible. 2. William Shatner, the Star Trek icon. William Shatner was born to Jewish parents in Montreal. His upbringing instilled values of perseverance and exploration, reflected in his career. 3. Leonard Nimoy, best known as Spock in Star Trek, Leonard Nimoy brought his Jewish heritage to the role, with the Vulcan salute inspired by a Jewish blessing. His artistry extended to poetry and photography, often exploring Jewish themes. 4. Gene Wilder, born Jerome Silberman. Gene Wilder was the son of Russian Jewish immigrants who instilled in him a love of storytelling and humor from an early age. Growing up in Milwaukee, he embraced Jewish traditions and values, which often influenced his work. From Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to Young Frankenstein, Wilder's comedic genius was unparalleled. Though not strictly religious, he identified as culturally Jewish and cherished his heritage deeply. 5. Larry King. The legendary talk show host Larry King, born Lawrence Zeiger in Brooklyn, New York, was the son of Jewish immigrants from Belarus. Growing up in a working-class Jewish neighborhood, King was shaped by traditional values and a love for storytelling. With his iconic suspenders and soothing voice, King became one of the most recognized figures in broadcasting. 6. Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin, the versatile actor known for his roles in Little Miss Sunshine and The Russians Are Coming, was born to Russian Jewish immigrants in Brooklyn. Arkin's upbringing in a progressive Jewish family fostered his love for music and theater. Though he rarely discussed religion publicly, his cultural roots often informed his work, adding depth and intellect to his performances. 7. Marty Feldman. Marty Feldman, the comedic genius with unforgettable googly eyes, was born in London to Jewish immigrants from Kyiv. Growing up in a working-class Jewish neighborhood, Feldman developed his sharp sense of humor and unique perspective on life. His breakout role as Igor in Young Frankenstein showcased his love for satire and his ability to transcend cultural boundaries with his comedy. 8. Jerry Orbach, best known as Detective Lenny Briscoe on Law and Order. Jerry Orbach was raised in a culturally mixed household by a Jewish mother and a Catholic father. He often identified with his Jewish heritage, which shaped his storytelling abilities. Orbach shone on Broadway in musicals like Cabaret and Chicago, tackling themes of identity and struggle. His charm and depth made him a beloved figure. 9. Woody Allen, born Allen Stewart Königsberg. Woody Allen grew up in a Jewish household in Brooklyn. His cultural identity heavily influenced his iconic works, from Annie Hall to Manhattan. Allen's films often explore themes of neurosis, relationships, and existential questions, all infused with his signature Jewish humor. 10. Michael Landon. Michael Landon, born Eugene Maurice Orowitz, grew up in a mixed religion household with a Jewish mother and Catholic father. He embraced his Jewish identity, which inspired the family-centric themes in his iconic shows Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie. Landon also supported Jewish charities and celebrated resilience and compassion throughout his career. 11. Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman, the powerhouse actor from The Graduate and Rain Man, comes from a Jewish family with roots in Kiev, Ukraine. Raised in Los Angeles, Hoffman was deeply influenced by his immigrant grandparents' stories. His Jewish heritage shaped his emotional depth and guided his choice of roles exploring identity and redemption. 12. Elliott Gould. With his distinctive voice and quirky charm, Elliott Gould was one of the few openly Jewish actors during Hollywood's golden age. Born in Brooklyn to Jewish parents, Gould's upbringing in a close-knit community inspired his roles in MASH and The Long Goodbye. His openness about his heritage made him a relatable and influential figure. 13. Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel, known for his gritty roles in Taxi Driver and Reservoir Dogs, was born to Polish Jewish immigrant parents who survived the Holocaust. Growing up in Brooklyn, Keitel developed resilience and a nuanced perspective, reflected in his portrayals of morally complex characters. 14. James Caan, the tough guy actor. James Caan, famous for playing Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, was raised in a Jewish family in the Bronx. His father's work ethic as a butcher and his cultural roots instilled grit and determination, which Caan credited for his success in Hollywood. 15. Neil Diamond. The legendary musician Neil Diamond was born to Jewish parents in Brooklyn, with roots in Eastern Europe. His songs often carried themes of hope and perseverance, deeply influenced by his upbringing. A global icon, Diamond's Jewish identity remained central to his life and work. 16. Bob Dylan born. Robert Zimmerman, in Duluth, Minnesota, Bob Dylan's Ukrainian Jewish heritage was a vital part of his journey. While he explored Christianity in the 1970s, Dylan eventually returned to Judaism. His spirituality and cultural identity infused his music, making him a transformative figure. 17. David Warner. David Warner, with Jewish ancestry on his father's side, was born in Manchester. Despite a challenging upbringing, Warner's roots influenced his empathy and depth as an actor, helping him deliver powerful performances. 18. Paul Simon. Paul Simon, one half of Simon and Garfunkel, was raised in Queens in a Jewish family with Hungarian roots. His introspective lyrics often reflect themes of identity and spirituality, drawing from his cultural heritage. 19. Art Garfunkel. Art Garfunkel, Simon's counterpart, was also raised in a Jewish household in Queens. His parents were Romanian Jewish immigrants, and the cultural richness of his background shaped his music and life. 20. Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's mother was Jewish, and while he wasn't raised religiously, he has expressed pride in his Jewish ancestry. His heritage influenced his values, evident in the justice-driven roles he's portrayed in Star Wars and Indiana Jones.